Hello, my name is Mesut Durukal. I'm a software quality assurance engineer, and in this session, I want to discuss code review from the testing perspective. Because code review is very important for developers, and as test automation engineers, we are developing the test code so we can improve the quality of the code that we are developing to execute our test cases by means of these reviews that we are doing in our teams. So, what I briefly discuss is first of all, discuss the importance or the ways to get benefits from the code reviews, and then I'll share some tips or suggestions to prepare a good guideline or a checklist to make a healthy code review. Because if we don't have a clear roadmap to perform our code reviews, then it is very easy to get lost, right? Because there are too many aspects that we can check while reviewing the code. So what kind of tips or suggestions I can share to improve the code that I'm reviewing, or what kind of quality aspects I should keep in mind while reviewing the code. If I already know this, if I'm already prepared to check these aspects, then it will be already very easier to perform the code reviews. So we will discuss these points and then we will wrap up the session. But first, let's get started by discussing the importance or the advantages of making the code reviews in a good and healthy way. So first of all, of course, we can improve the quality of the code, right? But in the meantime, on the other hand, we can use this workflow as a learning process. So it is a two-way communication. We can, of course, learn something new, and of course, we can use this chance to guide or teach to the other people that we are working together with. So we can both teach or learn from other people. So it's a way of communication. So this is a very good resource to improve our development skills and the communication skills too. But let's dig in two aspects more in detail. So first of all, how we can improve the quality, or in the first place, why we should improve the quality, right? Because if we are talking about the test code, it is not an end product. So who cares? The end users, maybe our customers or clients, they will not be seeing the test code. But even though it is not an end product, it is a product because there are some users who are interacting with the test code. So actually, they are using the test code. They might be reading the code to understand what we are doing or what we are covering, understand the scope or the functionalities, or maybe they are writing new test cases. The developers or the other testers might be trying to write new tests into our framework, or they might be just trying to execute or run the test cases. So think about the quality aspects. If the test cases are not reliable, or if they are not robust, if they are flaky, or if they are fragile, like if the test cases are failing too often, then of course it will affect or impact the quality of the whole pipeline, right? So in these ways, we should really improve the quality of the test code to not to impact to the delivery time or the quality of the whole pipeline. So we already know that there are different use ways of the test code. There are different users of the test automation framework, so that we should improve the quality of the test code, because sometimes we might have a tendency to consider test code as not the end product. So we might do the code reviews a little bit loosely. So please don't do that and consider test code as a part of the repository, right? Because we are introducing new code to our repository. So if we have a quality issue, if we have a security issue, this will impact everyone involved in the repository. On the other hand, we can use code review sessions as a learning way, because there are too many resources to improve our development skills, right? We can go through recordings, trainings, or articles, and we can read, watch lots of different resources. But code review is already an actual case where we can apply our approaches or discuss new ideas, right? This is not, again, only one way communication or just making some directions, but a platform where we can discuss ways to improve the quality. For example, while reviewing the code, if we realize there might be a better solution or a better approach which can improve the performance or which can avoid some security issues, vulnerability issues, or code quality issues, then we can discuss. And if we find a common way where all the parties agrees, and if it will improve the quality, then we can go with the solution, right? So again, we can utilize these sessions as a way of learning what the other people are doing, and maybe uh, discussing new ideas to improve our solutions. And okay, this is great, right? But in what aspects we can improve the quality? Of course, again, it is not only the functionality, but there are too many non-functional aspects as well. The maintenance, the readability, understandability, the performance, security, and lots of different things we can try to review. And if any improvement rooms are available, then we can try to make suggestions to get rid of those kind of quality issues. So again, we can try to prepare a checklist, not to lose anything, and to list all the important things that we have to go through. This will make a clear roadmap for everyone, right? For the people who are reviewing the code, they will already have a guideline, and for the people who are developing the code, that they will already know what kind of checks will be done on the code that they are developing in advance. So we will not be losing any time. If they don't know at all what kind of review they will go through, maybe they will develop the code in a completely different way, right? They might be following different styling or different patterns. So first of all, preparing this kind of guideline will build a common ground for everyone, for all the parties, and it will avoid having some misunderstandings. So let's discuss the aspects of the checklist that we can prepare and the aspects of the quality actually which the checklist will cover. So first of all, the readability and the understandability is very important in terms of the maintenance of the test code, right? Whenever the test code fails, of course, we have to fix it, but how easily can we do that? Because it does not necessarily have to be ourselves, right? The author itself. For example, I might write a test code, but someone else can try to maintain it, can try to refactor it. How easily the other people can understand my code. And the code review as well, the code review itself, we can try to improve the understandability. We can divide into proper commits, and we can add all the documentation to the commits and the code review itself. We can add the descriptions, the definitions. And if we are having a huge code which is to be reviewed, then it will be very difficult, right? So if we have the proper modularity in our codes to be reviewed, then it will be much more easier to the person who is reviewing our code. So the understandability and readability of the code, the context itself, and the merge review itself as well. Not only the content, but the merge review by applying proper commits and adding all the documentation, which will facilitate the process for the reviewer as well. Please have the empathy. If you are the person who will review this code, would it be easy to understand what the code is doing? So please think from this perspective and try to improve the understandability. And then another non-functional aspect is the performance and security. Like if the code is running in an efficient way, if there are too many, maybe I don't know, the complexity is too much, there is extra complexity, or there if it is the UI automation, for example, if it is too slow, if it is a slowly running test case, or if there are some dependency issues like all the tests are not independent from each other. This is another aspect, right? We can keep in mind both while writing the test code and reviewing the test code. If we realize that there are some things which can be improved to maybe fasten the execution, if we realize that there are some code which is slowing down the execution, then we can already make some suggestions and try to improve these kind of quality aspects. And of course, the execution itself, right? The reliability and the robustness is very important. So not only do a dry run, but also actually execute the test case and see how it is running. Please do that. I know it takes some time, and of course everyone is very busy, right? We also have some tasks that we have to finish, and whenever we have a code review request, we might feel like, okay, I have to finish my own task, so I don't have too much time to review this code. But please remember, your contribution to the team or your contribution to the quality is not only the code that you write, but whenever you review the other piece of code who is maybe written by someone else, again, it will be a part of the repository used by everyone. So not only the code written by yourself, but also all the repository is under everyone's responsibility. And this is already a huge contribution, right? Your performance, self-evaluation would not be depending only on the code that you are writing. This is not the sole metric. If you are doing that, this is a toxic metric. So please don't do that. And uh, consider code reviews another way of contributing to the quality of the product and our code repository. So we briefly discussed the importance of the code reviews from a testing perspective. So in this way, we can improve the code quality of even our test code. It does not have to be the end code, but also test code is an important part of our repository so that we can improve the quality. So thanks a lot for listening to me. And if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out.